On this episode of The Bender Hour.
11
Mr.
has,
Beast.
yeah, like talking. It's like, what's up, Beast Nation, or whatever he fucking says. I'm just like making that up.
Brofist.
Brofist.
You best pick a side now, 'cause my bank account is in the red.
Dark John, can I see your gun? No. Is able goes into Deadeye. Headshots all 100 birds as like Hosea screams in slow motion.
I think you need to spend that money and make my tent look nicer.
Try me,
You're-
old man.
You're not eating nobody, old man. Watch me. I'm like Pac-Man.
Waka waka waka.
Oh my god. So you're obviously aware of Mr. Beast.
I have no idea who that is. Would you remind me again?
You fucking know who Mr. Beast is. Every, like, I guess this is just feeding into the whole, like, just more scam shit. That's what the past couple months have just been, honestly. Just finding more and more retarded scams. And that's what I've been seeing non-stop. Almost as much as, like, that Temu shit or whatever it was called. And I, since I don't have, like, I'm using a fucking iPhone, so I get, like, ads on YouTube. Every single ad on the homepage is this Mr. Beast scam that says, like, if you go to this page, you'll get $1,000. And it uses likeness. It uses, pretends to be, like, from YouTube. It's just full of a bunch of botted comments saying, like, oh man, this is so fantastic. I just cashed out. I'm going to buy a car. You go to the website, and it's like, we have your $1,000 reserved for you. Like, we'll be accepting new people. We will stop accepting new people in 30 minutes with, like, a fake countdown that resets, like, if you refresh the page. Yeah. And then, like, it's just full of a bunch more, like, botted comments. And it's making me think, like, like, how the fuck are they getting away with that? Like, it's one thing that,
using like his fucking likeness.
Yeah, like, that's, like, I know YouTube doesn't give a shit if you're just, some scammer based in another country, but I would imagine they'd kind of be moved to
Be a
do
little
something.
more like strict about using like their fucking like pay piggy right now.
Yeah,
Like,
like
their
one of
highest grossing fucking content creators.
basically, especially Mr. Beast, who's pretty much been like the rising star the past couple of years now. And, of course, says, like, your $1,000 is reserved for you. All you gotta do is just put in your credit card information.
Crazy.
So blatant. And they must
Send
be
$5 so we can, get your bank account information to send you back the 1,000.
Yeah, and the scary part is since, he's like pretty much had huge bouts of philanthropy, there's like gonna be a bunch of people in third world countries that aren't gonna like know about this shit, and they're probably feeding into the scam, thinking like, oh, $1,000,
Mr. Beast is gonna give me $1,000.
He's gonna give me $1,000. Like, oh, I've heard of Mr. Beast. He like gives out free stuff. There's like people that hover around Mr. Beast content, hoping that like they're gonna be the lucky guy who gets like $1 billion and like a whole island from him. So it's like, oh, I'll get $1,000. Just add the credit card scam, and it must be paying pretty well because this scam has been up and running, I would say, for about 6 months now. Damn near.
I don't get like the same ads as you. Like, I've never seen that.
Yeah, like I don't watch Mr. Beast, so I like this can't be some kind of like targeted system. I don't have a clue.
Speaking of that Temu shit too, I was watching a video actually a little bit before we started this, and it was fucking sponsored by Temu, and the fucking dude doing the video like read out an entire ad read for them, and like it took like a little bit for it to click with me, like, oh shit, this is like the fucking people you were talking about like a few weeks ago. Like, how the fuck did, like, this guy, like, this YouTuber, he's pretty, like, reputed. And seeing him, like, take a fucking ad read from this company, like, I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yep, and
it's like trying to, like, sell an NFT or some shit. Like, it's just fucking, it's disrespectful.
disrespectful is what it is. I mean, I get ads for those too. You know, it's specifically just like $7 Nintendo Switch. You know, it's like, get it now. It's just how it runs. Fucking hate scammers, and they're only getting better. Only because like just more dumb people are getting access to the internet, I guess. Yeah. They finally realized you can just direct your, instead of just targeting the people that have had internet, let's target the people that just got it and are going to be complete. You know, it's like introducing a fucking like disease to like a completely, like new population. Like, they're not going to have any defense.
Fucking humans to like the fucking Dodo Island.
Yeah, they just don't have a chance. Like, it's like, damn, that's really like going straight for the Mr. Beast $1,000 like scam on like, unwittingly, I mean, like, I'm the terms. What fucking term am I thinking about?
Like,
I'm just
naive?
like the naive masses of like the third world countries. Like that's like, sending the bubonic plague to,
to like North America, like
yeah,
pre-Columbian.
Yeah, it's like uncontacted tribes. Like, you're really going for the jugular.
It's kind of crazy to think that in terms of like scams and shit, like the internet was safer like 20 years ago when it was a lot more of like a niche thing. Like, there was a lot less like even like the scams that did exist, like people were generally like smarter around it. But I guess like it was like the gate entry to like using the internet was just generally being like more tech savvy.
Yes.
And now that it's more accessible, like you can just make even dumber fucking claims and people will like actually sink money into it.
It's like, it was really where the cash was all this time. We could have just moved to like Malaysia, set up one website that's just nothing more than a credit card swiper. It could have been set for life, knowing that like nobody would extradite us. And maybe if like we were super unlucky, like Interpol would have like, tried to hunt us down. They just like move to a neighboring country and then they have to restart all their search again. So who knows? Stupid stuff. And I think the best twist would be like Mr. Beast was actually just like behind it.
Yeah, like he actually like signed over his likeness to this fucking company.
Like, Mr. Beast is so viciously like against, like, he's just like a rabid racist against all these third world countries. So like he refuses to spend one single red cent of his own wallet on them, so he scams them. It takes all that money into like a separate hedge fund that he then like gives back to them.
It's like the fucking like the AI Joe Rogan video.
That's the only thing I could think of that would be
wish
plausible.
I could fucking like quote that video right now, but there's no way.
We can't. It's not worth it.
Fucking like Joe Rogan's face when Trump calls in.
I'd be making that exact face too if I heard that.
I'll put up like the fucking screenshot of like Joe Rogan's face just for visual reference.
I'll put up the full uncensored video for your reference. And the funny thing is that there's always like that long-standing joke that like scams and like Nigerian princes and whatnot, but most scams that like aren't done by like India are actually still based out of Nigeria. So that's just like one thing. I think like those are really the biggest scam centers in the world. You got like Nigeria, India, and like to a degree like Russia is probably like up there in the top 5, I'd say.
Isn't Ethiopia decently up there?
I would guess so. Honestly, anything in that like chunk of North Africa or like whatever the hell, you're gonna get scammers. No one wants to be over there anyway. Like, you're talking about like war-torn countries. No one's gonna come fucking looking for you. Not even the government. So if you know how to use a computer, if you're like one of the 10 people that like can afford a computer and know how to use one, and are tech savvy enough to know that there's people dumber than you, you're set. I'm just thinking, like, it is such a blatant setup, though. Just a black screen with text on it, with confetti that shoots out. Because I'm just describing how it looked like, because I was actually curious to see how it worked. And then it just says that sentence, like, your $1,000 is reserved for you. We just need your fucking, your information. You know, I'm trying to think, is there any better way to accomplish that scam?
Like, to get, like, people to just give you their credit card information?
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, is there anything scummier than that? Is there a way to outdo the Mr. Beast scammers?
I mean, Mr. Beast is super good for, like, getting a generalized scam out there. If you really wanted to get some gullible fucks to give you money, do the same thing, but with Donald Trump. Like, my Patriot supporters, I am hereby giving out $1,000 to my most fervent patriots. Like, all you have to do is give me your credit card information, and I will link you my $1,000 donation to you, the people. God bless America.
and what would happen is that it would be using, like, the 11 Labs voice AI, and it would be
like,
using,
deep-faked, like, his face to be moving.
A deep-faked, like, face, whatever they're using for all those stupid, like, Balenciaga, like, edits.
Yeah.
With, like, him blinking and, like, moving his mouth and, like, moving his head. Dude. Like, most of those...
There would be
like,
lawsuits up the ass.
like, most of those, like, you know, people in that Trump crowd, I've only, like, heard about AI, like, once or twice.
Most of them
like,
are
looked
fucking,
into
like, 60 years old. They have no fucking idea.
You know?
They would fall for that shit so easy.
It's going to my legal fund.
Yeah.
I can't pay my legal funds.
Thanks to all your donations for my legal defense fund, I have an overwhelming amount of money, and I'm going to give it back to you.
And I'm going to use it to bribe the judge. And lose the case. No refunds.
Donate now for my 100 times match. Whatever the fuck that means.
Because I guess the only way to... I mean, because that would be, like, hysterical, and that would definitely, like, have an audience. But I guess if you did the same exact thing to Mr. Beast himself, then you'd, like, attract, like, that global audience. Like, if that fucking ad came with a
like,
deep fake...
11 Labs AI,
11
Mr.
Labs,
Beast.
Yeah, like, talking. It's like, you know, what's up, Beast Nation? Or like, whatever he fucking says. I'm just, like, making that up.
Brofist.
Brofist. He's like, I just need your credit card information, and I can give you $1,000. That would be, like, unbelievable. And then, you know, people would be, like, cropping out that video. It'd be being posted, like, all over fucking, like, Asian and African TikTok. And, like, their Facebooks and whatever. The word would get out.
I think that would definitely, like, be enough to warrant a response from the Beast himself.
He has to, like, show up in front of, he has to show up, like, in front of the United Nations. He's like... You think they would give him the chair? Like, not killing him, but, like,
daring to show his face. They'd give him the chair.
They put him up at the podium, and he's, like, in his stupid casual wear, and he's, you know, like, on that loud-ass microphone, thinking, what's up, Beast Nation? Like, all, like, 216 countries are present, whatever, like, sitting with their fucking headsets in as, like, interpreters.
Just a bunch of, like, middle-aged men who have, like, no idea who this fucking guy is.
Like, you know, like, a quarter of their countries, like, don't even have YouTube.
Like, you got, like, the fucking, like, the tribal dudes from, like, fucking, like, Tahiti or whatever. Those dudes that show up to the UN. And, like palm tree weaved fucking, like, skirts.
the denizens of Tahiti. While you're at it, you just got, like, the whole Vanderlyn cake sitting up there. Just the idea of them all sitting there, like, with their hands crossed, with, like, the little fucking plates at the front that, like, just all have, like, their last names.
I don't know, Dad. I don't know who this Mr. Beast guy is.
We'll get our $1,000 and then we'll leave. Like, that's the whole plot of Red Dead 2. He's showing that
We
he's over
need
the scam.
Mr. Beast's $1,000.
We need money. And Mr. Beast is our ticket out of here. And we join that Mr. Tahiti feller in his seat at the ambassador's corner.
I don't know, Dutch. It sounds like one big Chinese scam to me. Nah, don't listen to him, Dutch. Mr. Beast is gonna be sending those $1,000 any day now.
That $1,000 is already reserved in my name.
Like, just fucking Micah's the one, like, running the scam.
$1,000 is already reserved for us, Black Lung. All you gotta do is give us your credit card. Give up your credit card. I don't know, Dutch.
You tried to scam me.
John,
You best pick a side now, 'cause my bank account is in the red.
So stupid. Abigail, did you find out who's keeping our credit cards? Can't believe we had to eat Jack just to survive.
Well, we're out of him, so I guess it's time to go back to eating my favorite food.
What
Human
might that be?
feces.
Yep. Out in the outdoors, eating poop, sustainable crap.
Of the Vanderlyn gang.
the birds produce plenty of poop for all of us, Dutch.
It's caribou season, fellas. And with the herd comes lots of turds.
Dutch, this Stinkerton's coming left and right. We don't have time to be eating poop off the ground like a bunch of savages. That's when, like, Dutch, I don't know, he, like, pulls out, like, the Bible.
Faith, Arthur.
Like, pulls out the Bible, and he's like,
Leviticus 13:11 says that the Gentile can eat poop.
He who do not eat of the poop
will be cast into the bowels of is that turd?
and he like bends over, starts like gobbling it like a
he
fucking
starts
chicken.
pecking at it. Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly
oh,
what I was gonna say.
Red Dead 2 is like the biggest mistake.
Yeah. Humanity's greatest folly.
Like the creation of Red Dead 2, and then followed in second place by like the invention of the atomic bomb. I'm trying to remember the specific thing that made me create the whole like poop eating thing. Okay, so
Wasn't it all just based off of like
I'll have the stew, please. The bisque. Like,
okay,
didn't you
that was
say,
part
like,
of
I'll
it.
have
So
the poo, please.
it was from one video where it was like trying every single food in Red Dead 2. Where it's like John like barging into every store and saloon and like eating all the food. And I think there's one line where he says like, I'll take the bill if that's okay, or he says something like that. And I just said like, I'll have some poo if that's okay, and it just fucking nosedived from there. You know, I'll try the feces, the guano, please. And now he's just a poop eating machine for the rest of the Vanderlyn gang. He certainly isn't a rabbit, so I don't know how long you can realistically survive as a human eating human turds. It can't be long. If your body wasn't, like, outright rejecting it, I think you would die within, like, a week.
still outlives fucking Arthur though. Maybe the fucking U.S. Army was doing him a service when they put him down. He was gonna die anyway.
Yeah, like when he steps out of the barn, like every shot hits his stomach, and there's just like piles of diarrhea and like turds like coming
It's
out
like
of it.
when those fucking like Indonesians like cook the cow stomach and they cut it open and there's just like a whole like fucking like 30-pound pile of shit inside of it.
Yeah.
he's he's got like uneaten fucking shit. What do they call it? Fuck. The word that's coming to
like owl pellets in them.
No, the word that's coming to mind is chud, but I know that's not it.
Like the
Cud,
cud.
cud, yeah.
It's chewing the chud. It's like, Abigail, Jack, why don't you run out of here? Don't look back. He steps out the door, and like the whole like U.S. Army's out there, along with like Jack and Abigail with like rifles pointed at him.
You killed my father. And your father fucking ate himself to death with the life he lived.
Your father was a disgusting poop eating. And I'll eat you too, you little piece of shit.
Try me, old man.
You're not eating nobody, old man. Watch me. I'm like Pac-Man.
Waka waka waka.
Oh my god. Jack's the one to die along that creek that like evening. Yeah, okay, so that whole mission in Red Dead 1 is like you know, having to meet with like a bunch of people who basically, like, you know, give you insight.
Yeah, it's like where he is.
Yeah, and like about him. Like, you talk to that first guy, it's like you work for the government? Like, yes I do. It's like, you know about oh god, what was his fucking name? What was the name of the actual
Ross?
like, the stinker?
Agent
yeah,
Ross.
It was Agent Ross. Like, what do you know about Agent Ross? Well, he was quite infamous for his Pac-Man like mouth. I think he went bird hunting up at Red Dead 1 Creek. and then you meet his wife. It's like, oh, that giant Pac-Man mouth husband of mine. And then you finally meet his brother. Like, oh, you came over to kill my brother, huh? I warn you.
He's got a big Pac-Man mouth. He's not afraid to use it.
He's eaten many a man in his day. Yeah, but at this point, like, Jack's like starting to like kind of doubt his mission.
He's like sweating.
He's gotta like psych himself up. Like, got my father. Just gotta confront him.
With one bullet, that's all it takes.
But the second like waka waka comes out of his mouth, he freezes up like a fucking frog seeing a snake. Drops his gun.
His whole body locks into place. He can't move.
As Ross eats him feet first. And then like what happens? Like there's just like one final scene where it shows like Jack's tombstone that zooms out next to like John and Abigail's tombstones, and just Ross like grieving over all three. The tastiest damn family ever ate. Then he looks at the camera and he's like, Red Dead. Ragnarok. And it finally has like that cut to red. It goes like, down.
Stand unshaken.
as it cuts to Arthur's like decomposing body,
Like still on top of the mountain.
it was actually so high up on the mountain that like it was getting preserved.
Yeah, he's like fucking like flash frozen up there. He's like a fucking woolly mammoth in the ice.
And then what, like, it zooms in on his face, then like his eyes open.
He like winks at the camera.
Great. And then, you know, fucking like Guinness Book of World Records, like longest credit sequence in history at like over like 14 hours. It lists every human on Earth. I think if the entirety of Red Dead 1 was exactly the same, like apart from that whole change, You know, you think it'd still be like a revered classic.
Yeah. Like, it probably would still be just everyone would be super confused about that fucking like man in the ice at the end.
It was just like this caveman.
Until fucking like Red Dead 2 comes out, where you get the extended ending where Arthur gets frozen on top of the mountain. They unearth him in like the 21st century and give him the fucking pneumonia vaccine.
Stupid. He's fucking TB. They get the wrong thing. They give him the wrong vaccine and he just instantly gets like Asperger's. Like every single bad effect from a vaccine like hits him at once. He like loses like motor function, his joints lock up, he gets Asperger's.
He starts like having like trouble breathing. He goes into fucking shit.
Septic shock. They have to put him out of his misery. They just, you know, actually, I mean, like more stupid.
Checked him with the fucking anthrax.
They have a complete fucking like remake of the end of like Captain America, where like they set him up inside of like the fake like house during his time, like right outside of like Manhattan. But like they fucked it up, and it's like an exact replica of like Captain America's house.
Yeah, so it's like he wakes up to like a radio, and he like doesn't know what it is.
Where's that voice coming from? Who's there?
It goes over to the radio. It's like what is this thing? He's just like smashing it.
Yeah.
I don't understand what a radio is. And finally, he doesn't even get outside to see Manhattan. He just like looks up at a light bulb, unscrews it, and then bites into it and fucking fries himself to death.
Like he bites into the fucking like the outlet on the ceiling. Like, how do you do that? He jumps up 8 feet.
It's like his hair touches like a copper wire. And then like what is like Nick Fury have to show up and like save face. Stand up, champion.
It starts playing as fucking Arthur's body like comes to a complete like dead standstill as he's just dead, being electrocuted, hanging from the ceiling.
Like, his body finally hits the ground. And he lands in the exact same pose when he dies, like in Red Dead 2. And like it starts doing the zoom out, like the stand up shit. But every time he convulses and goes like, oh, the song stops. And that's like restart. And finally, like his heart finally gives out, and like he's in the exact same death pose, except now his eyes are crossed, and his hair is like blown out, like frizz, like a fucking cartoon character. He's completely pitch black.
It's like burn marks around like his lips, and, like spread across his face.
And
his eyes have been
out.
like cooked out.
His tongue's sticking out like a dead cow.
There's like black smoke like coming off of him.
And like a big, stupid, cartoonishly large like lump off the top of his head.
A big brown stain in his pants.
There's something like a pool of diarrhea forming in the bottom of his pants. with a completely like realistic sound of just like a posthumous
like leaking out.
Yeah, like a posthumous defecation. Recorded on set, like in the booth. Where they like actually killed his voice actor. They put a room microphone like right up to his ass crack. Get that like horrible frothing noise.
Data miners find the unedited audio clip
Hey, what are you doing with that? Get that away from me, no!
It's like Morgan Death Poop Funny 1.mp4.
Really bet a lot on, like, that perfect recording in the first time.
Yeah. You know, it's a result of like a massive lawsuit by his family, like the voice actor's family against Rockstar. But then they just send like John Marston to his house to fucking like Deadeye's family.
They show them the secret clause at the bottom of the fucking, like, shit.
Like the contract.
Yeah, the contract he signed. The secret death clause.
I'm not talking about Fallout. Thank you. Ah, man. Dutch, Arthur here has collected several tens of thousands of dollars for us. Maybe it's time we finally go to Tahiti.
No.
No, I think we need to upgrade the camp, Hosea.
I think you need to spend that money and make my tent look nicer.
Alright, Dutch, but we really need to go to Tahiti.
What? If I don't see a bearskin rug in my tent, you're kicked out of the Vanderlyn gang.
Alright, you really twisted my arms, Dutchy.
Don't call me that.
Whatever you say, Dutchy. I'll be back with that rug any day now. What's going on?
It's like you start hearing like
He
the
says he has like a fucking like power aura coming off of him like fucking Dragon Ball.
I figured that was like the noise of like the Deadeye. It's like the X is going over his head from Dutch.
Ugh. That's good shot, Dutchy.
Thank you.
You know, there's like fucking 20 members of the Vanderlyn gang. Crazy how it just whittled down to like 5.
Like 4, yeah. I mean, Javier and never mind. The other guy never like shows up. Javier shows up on occasion, and
Do we
Bill
really care about
Williamson has shown up maybe like once in all of our shit.
Better off just like dead. Because it makes it infinitely more retarded that I've never played 1 second of either campaign.
I've beaten Red Dead 1 when it came out, however fucking long ago that was. And I've played maybe like 5 missions of Red Dead 2's campaign.
I've seen the entire
all I
campaign and
needed to know.
cutscenes. As long as I saw the cutscenes, I could make fun of it. Especially Hosea.
Hosea.
God, yeah, what even started the fucking flock?
I don't know, I wasn't there for that.
Damn.
I was not there. I woke up like the next day, got in a call, and
you're
you
just
two were like
subject to
losing
it.
your minds thinking about the fucking flock from the night before.
I wish I knew what the origin of the flock was. I mean, I do know. If I really wanted to go back to it, if I were to make a guess, it's definitely the line from the beginning of the game where he's like, you know, we'll just head, you know, we'll just head east.
We're headed east. We're headed west, Dutch. Or whatever he
it's
says.
Like, yeah, he's like, it's like we just need to head west.
But we're going east.
And that was like the whole joke was, you know, like, but the flock is heading north. Concept that, you know, he just keeps around like 100 fucking birds, completely wasting everyone's time.
Hosea, we can't feed. We can hardly feed our own heads, let alone 100 birds.
The flock.
Flock is hungry, Dutch. They need sustenance.
Human flesh, even.
And these mountains have no food for them, Dutch. You need to leave.
We need to leave now. By the way, I've already turned you all over to the Pinkertons.
They promised several hundred bags of feed for my flock.
And a one-way ticket to Tahiti. Here's the ticket.
Thank you, Hosea.
He stuffs it in his pocket.
He stuffs it in his mouth. Oh, just swallows it.
You son of a bitch.
Not jerk me around, Mr. Matthews.
Oh yeah? Watch this.
Dutch, we've been freezing and dying in this fucking wintry hell for 1 week, and you've been getting jerked off by Hosea.
Yeah? Oh?
John froze to death. We never found him.
Got eaten by like the fucking pack of wolves.
Yeah, like they finally trek through the snow, and like where John's supposed to be, like bleeding out of that cliff face, it's just a perfectly picked clean skeleton. Like,
The last vulture is flying off by the time they find him.
It's only been 2 hours.
We'll be in a similar fate if we don't start heading east soon.
But we're heading west.
I'd say we should just go to New York.
Alright.
Yeah, maybe things would have like worked out better for him.
If they got like closer to the federal government.
Yeah, I mean that's how they usually say if you don't hide something, hide it in plain sight. But they were just too they had too much hubris to live among the urbanites, Even though that would have been their out.
I can't fight nature. Can't fight gravity.
Although, I can terraform the earth with my fingers, much like the Lord. Ugh.
Jesus Christ, Dutch. Been hiding that the whole time.
Yeah. And I can alter gravity.
It flies upwards.
He sends John hurtling upwards at like terminal velocity.
But I can't fight myself.
And then like out of the cave comes another Dutch.
Like a dark Dutch.
They start fighting and like Dark Dutch is just kicking the shit out of them.
The same premise as Darkling. It's just like a Dutch that's like dark gray with red eyes.
I can fight nature. I can fight gravity. My time has not passed, John. Pulls up his gun and blows John's head off.
In the end, he didn't even have the guts to take out Dark Dutch. Can I see your gun for a second? Gonna have to kill myself before you get to me.
He puts it up to his chin, blows his brains out.
I missed.
Oh. John put me out. Oh, God.
Damn, I missed. Damn.
He's like shooting him in the stomach.
Keep shooting his foot over and over. Damn, I missed. Damn.
Dark John, can I see your gun?
No. It's like Dark Ross shows up and like, I demand your gun. I mean, it makes sense because that's like the whole point of Red Dead 2. Like having that like morality meter where you can either be like good or bad Arthur.
Like every action you do contributes the opposite point to like Dark Arthur, who's like always roaming the map.
Fucking terrifying. Like Darth Arthur's looking around. And just knowing that like at any time he can like independently activate a fucking Deadeye and get you.
It's like
just
fucking like the Dark Mario from Sunshine. Like every crime he commits like goes to your name. People think it's you.
Yeah, like all of a sudden like you just get like a bounty message from like Tumbleweed when you're in Valentine at the top. You know, you're just like riding around, you're trying to do like a story mission, then all of a sudden like the screen goes into slow motion, everything turns yellow, and
And you see like an X appear on your forehead.
you see 10 appear on your forehead.
Fucking Dark Arthur. Where's that fucking like Red Dead mod?
Like the Dark Vanderland posse. They're already like they left from Tahiti to kill you. I would hate to see Dark Micah.
Yeah, to see just like actually like a good person.
No.
Or is he just like more evil?
He'd definitely have to be like more evil. Or he'd be like twice as conniving.
Yeah, so I mean like Dark Dutch is also like even like more of like a liar.
He'd killed every single person in Blackwater during like that disaster. He gunned down the entire town. Then like flew to Tahiti.
Now they're back to put down the Vanderland gang.
Reestablish their rightful place, like working alongside the Pinkertons. Like a separate branch of the US government. I'm saying that would be like, just imagine they announced Red Dead 3 and that's the premise.
An alternate timeline where the Dark Vanderland gang exists.
The Darth Vanderlands are the rule of law. I think because I remember in Red Dead 2, there's like that whole other like disgusting gang of like a bunch of like inbreds that do nothing but like and eat people.
Shit. What are they called? The fucking like
are.
Irish guy.
It wasn't the O'Driscolls.
Oh, wasn't the O'Driscolls?
No, it was like the other.
I
it was
guess
like the
I
something
never
brothers.
got farther enough into the game to find like the fucking inbred gang. Then
It was like the something brothers. God, I'm just like imagining like that would be like what the fucking Dark Vandal gang's up to. Like they're living in caves, like and eating people. They completely like forego any kind of fucking civility. All of the money that Darth Arthur gets for the gang just goes to making like Dutch's palace of evil larger. A massive like they're building like a pyramid. You could just like encounter like a great pyramid to scale, being like whipped with like fucking logs and shit, carrying limestone blocks.
instead of like seeking like pure unadulterated freedom like actual Dutch, he's like seeking to control everyone.
Yeah.
He wants to be the fucking pharaoh.
It was just a complete 180 from the real Dutch's origins. Like, you know, they wanted to be the good Robin Hood figure and like give to the needy. But like, you know, in this one he started out just being like a cold-blooded killer, but now he sees like the tact in controlling millions through like severe authoritarian rule.
This man married a virgin.
We owed the flower to her, and I still ate her.
Like, that is what happens when you encounter Darth Dutch. Like, and also what he's wearing, he's not wearing like that skin-colored shirt. Like, he's just like straight up naked.
Man married a whore, and I still
Dutch! He's dead.
Wake up! Oh my god, I don't feel nothing.
It's like, Dutch! Like, quickly like, rips off Dutch's pants, sticks like 2 fingers up his butt in a textbook colonoscopy maneuver. Feels
like
around
Dutch,
for a couple
like,
seconds.
Jumps back up.
It feels around for a couple seconds. He's dead. He's like still clearly alive. Like he didn't even like fall down, and he just like gets his fingers up his ass. Like, yeah.
Arthur, get your fingers out my butt.
Sorry, Dutch. It's force of habit, I suppose.
You'll get your poop once the job is done.
What about me, Dutch? I've been your good little boy for years now, and I don't get no special poop treatment.
Once we get some money, I'll buy all the poop you could feast your stupid little face on.
No, Dutch. All that poop goes to me. I've been a real workhorse. I've been Daddy's good little girl, and you're gonna give me all that poop.
I can't deny you, my sweet little boy, Micah.
I've only known you for about 2 weeks, but you're already my fiercest lover in the whole camp. I make everyone else listen to our hard nights of passion in the Dutch tent.
I like to record it and play it on my stupid sonograph so the whole gang can hear the next day.
I'd like to thank Arthur for spending $10,000 in 1899 money buying me a giant king-size spring bed so everyone can hear me fucking Mike on the ass.
It's also why I've moved my tent right next to yours, Dutch.
You all pick a side now. This is over.
Everyone goes over to Dutch's side.
Like even like John goes over. Well, if you can't beat him, join him. You're a traitor. Like to like, cut him down. Stand unshaken. Because Dutch is gay.
That's right.
Can you imagine if Dutch like did like a fucking like cold miser dance? Like after like blowing Arthur to bits with like the fucking semi-auto shotgun. He was like,
This man married a woman. We all fuck each other in the ass. But he has a kid. I guess that makes him the better man, huh?
Can I get a show of hands? Does that make him a better man?
Anyone?
Ooh, I'm seeing no hands. You believe that? Can you believe that, folks?
Pinkertons arrive and like, for your spectacular performance against murdering the vile Arthur J. Morgan, the United States government has given you a full pardon. I'd like, and would even be the president during like this time. If it's even like the same like, is it like 1899? I think.
Who the fuck was? I don't think anyone knows who was president in 1899. It definitely wasn't Roosevelt.
The fucking like flyover president. Like there's like that whole time that nobody cares about the presidents.
Yeah, like between like Ulysses
William
S.
McKinley.
Grant. Really?
Fucking William McKinley.
Could have fucking fooled me.
And Mr. McKinley would like to see you in the White House.
Oh, me? Come on, gang.
President Johnson.
And like there's like a famous, black and white, photo in all the papers that shows like McKinley and Dutch like standing in front of like all of like the
hands,
like shaking
the
hands.
White House lawn.
I was like thinking that. I was imagining it was like McKinley standing like over like off like the McDonald's like on the table. And like Dutch is like in the whole gang's there eating.
I've been Arthur really like this fillet of fish.
Wow, this is way better than all the poo I eat all the time. Maybe I should start eating this.
Like looks at the camera.
I'm loving it.
Let's put 8 burgers to go around for my birds, Dutch. The flock will be eating good.
Speaking of, where are they?
Uh-oh. Well,
The
what
doors
was it, all
swing
those...
open. The whole fucking like auditorium starts shaking.
There's 100 like 12-foot boa birds storm in, or with Hosea's face on them.
Get down!
It's like John, who's equipped with a fucking Maxim gun, is able goes into Deadeye, headshots all 100 birds as like Hosea screams in slow motion.
Like he went all this time putting up with the bursts and just like now kill them.
I figured he's screaming because he like couldn't believe what John's doing.
Like I was just saying, like John spent all this time with the birds. Like only now is he gonna like try to kill them.
I'd imagine that John, like after discovering McDonald's, he like can't go back to eating poop now. And like seeing these birds which are about to like threaten his banquet, he had to make a move. And like slow motion is like Jose is screaming, oh, like along with the bullets like hitting the fucking ground. And the birds are like still like completely like like they're still charging. And like in
like
slow motion. It's slow motion.
It's like the fucking Zulu movie. Like...
Hosea is like mid-dive, completely 90-degree angle mid-air, mid-tackling John. No. By then, like, the last bird has already hit the ground.
Dutch is now like ground pounding John in the face as hard as he can.
Did you say Dutch did that? I was about to say, what the fuck is this? Dutch sprints over, gets like mounts John and starts beating the shit out of him.
He just starts screaming out like, I hated those birds! He starts punching John to death.
Meanwhile, like Micah is like just eating. He's like in the commotion,
He's
trying
like
to eat as
stuffing
much of the
burgers into
food,
his fucking coat pockets. Like,
and like and what he can't stuff, he's trying to eat like before anyone else can.
I can feel my arteries filling up.
John's face is just—he looks like a fucking victim. It's like a million Africanized like killer bees. He's like completely puffed up and purple.
Oh, yeah, like his eyes are like like forced shut.
His lips are like bulbous.
He can like barely breathe. There's like blood like spurting out of his mouth. It's like almost an exact recreation of like the fucking Invincible scene.
Dutch is like, why did you make me do this?
I could always start again.
What will you
Build another
have?
flock.
I can always just make another flock.
And I can always have another John. What will you have after 2 more games? Poop. I'll have poop.
It's like shit's like a tear. And that's when Dutch does like that ugly like well first he makes like that ugly noise where he goes like then he flies away. The thing is like he can fly but he's not like strong, so like when he hits the fucking roof
he hits it head first, completely snaps his neck,
pancakes. Because like he leaves with the same amount of like acceleration as fucking Omni-Man.
I think it'd be really stupid if he could fly, but since he's never done it before, he doesn't know how to land.
Or like okay, let's say like he has like his body has like super strength that he could fly, and he goes into space, but like he dies. It just shows his body.
His
freezing.
eyes pop out of his head
as he's like his tongue sticks out and starts boiling. Great.
The gang gets pardoned just for all of that to happen. Dutch is dead, floating in space. The entire flock is dead.
John is
John
within an inch of his
on the
life.
verge of death. Micah's about to have a heart attack. Like, all that stuff is Hosea. And he's probably gonna kill himself now that the flock is gone.
He's got nothing else to live for.
And Arthur's body is being, like, picked away by the carrion.
Looks like I'm in
The only
charge.
person left standing is fucking President McKinley.
He was just like eating like a Big Mac solemnly, like he wasn't even phased.
Why did they give? Like, why was there a Maxim gun in the same room as the president? And, like, this notorious outlaw gang.
The pardon was so fucking. It was like so blatant that they were removed of any like sense of possible wrongdoing in the minds of anybody there. The Maxim gun was just like in there as decoration, but it was fully armed.
Fully armed and operational.
You know, would they like give John like the Medal of Honor?
If he survives his injuries.
It's a Purple Heart.
Gets a posthumous Medal of Honor.
And like a purple medal for like bravery in face of the flock award. That's pinned directly into his flesh. Goes like they put it like right into like his nipple hole when you see a single tear come down his face. I said Red Dead was just a mistake.
Should have never released that game knowing that we exist.
Rockstar blew like $500 million making like the trees look realistic. Just for like a dead on line and a
fucking like horse balls.
Yeah, horse balls that dynamically like shift with the temperatures. And like completely jiggle bone physics on like Arthur's cock. You know, when do you think we're gonna get to the point where like games are gonna become like AAA's like studios are gonna have so much fucking money they'll be able to dynamically like make human skin tense up with like goosebumps?
I feel like, given the nature of how games are, like, you're always, like, so far away that, like, you never even fucking see it, so why bother? Like, unless it's, like, for, like, a cutscene, but even then, that'd be, like, animated.
What about the horse balls? Like, how often are you gonna, like, notice that? Unless you're, like, a complete horse freak.
Yeah. It's, like, salivating at the glance, like, watching them the whole time.
You know, at that point, just had him like dynamically like dilating horse buttholes. Actual like smell physics for like the horse poop, so your characters like react with like over 1 million voice lines.
Until you're playing as John, where like, he starts like, oh boy, more poo.
If the second the horse lifts its tail, John like mounts the horse
John
backwards.
does a backflip off of the horse.
He nails like a perfect like fucking 1080 backflip.
On a standstill.
First he like stands up on the horse. Does a 1080 backflip, perfectly lands, and then just gets on all fours, starts slobbering on the poop.
Lands on his knees, opens his mouth with his head upward, and waits for like the fucking poop to hit.
And then like depending on like where you're moving the camera, he runs towards the camera and like sticks his tongue out and like shows you like, like all like the like poop and like hair and shit. I could go for seconds. and he runs over the horse and starts like punching its stomach over and over. The horse is screaming, it's like jumping up and down and kicking.
He's like masterfully dodging like every kick.
He's managing to perfectly stay underneath it.
And he's like keeping pace with the horse as it tries to run away.
He's running like 40 miles an hour. And like he's got a lasso, but instead of like throwing it, he runs around the horse like a fucking like it's an AT-AT. Yeah, and like trips it.
He fucking hog ties it on the ground. Like, you're the player. You have you've completely lost control over your own character in the game. You just have to like watch this play out.
Like it's the same way like when you skin an animal, you have to watch the cutscene, but now this like just plays without any input.
Like a fucking like 5-minute dynamic cutscene.
Foul. Just the idea of seeing John like running like the Hulk from like the fucking like the early 2000s movie.
He's doing like the jump part across the desert, like trying to catch up to the horse.
This is the horse. Where's gonna Hulk jump?
It's trying to like get away from John, so I'd imagine it'd be going pretty damn quick.
He got to the poop. Why is he even riding the damn thing? Legendary John. Yeah, like what if like you could find like a legendary human? Like what if like if you found like an albino like walking around town, and you just like you had like a prompt to skin him alive. Like it's just a one swift motion. He just like grabs him by the ears and like pulls all of his skin off like half and half. This guy's like running around like just his like muscles. The belt will fetch a hefty price.
The one like midget on the map. It's like another one.
Like since he's like too small to skin, you just like put him on the back of the horse. And it's like stupid because I know that game has like cut content that has a fucking like a Neanderthal in it, like a fully modeled fucking caveman. I think that would be a ridiculous plot. Like just all of a sudden, like a caveman, like a bloodthirsty caveman shows up to the Vanderland camp, and it's like really late at night. It's like none of the like guys have like their guns at the ready. I don't think they'd be able to beat him.
I mean, it'd be like 10 guys against one fucking caveman. How strong is this caveman?
I don't know. He has like one oversized club. He's like, see him go in the Dutch's tent. He's like, thunk. Oh.
In all this commotion, not one of them is gonna like go to like get their gun.
Like when he enters the tent, like a modern day like alarm starts blaring, and not a single person even wakes up or like moves. They're completely out of it. Like John's over there going like, hey, wait. It's fucking Red Dead for you. Oh yeah, I guess maybe just so I can make my larger point here that's not Red Dead related. Did you have something to bring up about Zelda?
Okay. Ugh. So, as any viewer, as any listener might be aware, Tears of the Kingdom just came out. This might be a bit of an extended thing, but I've been playing it. I've been enjoying it. And I was just thinking to myself, like, because obviously this is going to be, like console Zelda games from now on. It's just going to be fucking Breath of the Wild style. Because this game is a direct continuation of Breath of the Wild. And I got to thinking just about what they could do for a third game in this series. And I was just thinking, like, they could call it Tears of the Kingdom 2. Like, I don't care. But it should just be about, like, the people of Hyrule uniting to just fucking, like, kill Zelda. Because she has now twice, within the past 100 years of this world, like, fucked everything up. Because, you know, in Breath of the Wild, she went around in the past, like, the 100 years before the game starts, and, like, you know, dug up all those fucking, like, ancient robots and shit. And then when Ganon shows up, he takes control of the robots so he can kill everyone, right? So, like, this is, like, entirely her fault. Like, Link could have just done it with the Master Sword, it would have been fine, but she had to go and, like, dig up these robots. And then in this game, the start of it, I don't really even think this is spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it yet, but, like, the start of it is Zelda is leading an expedition into, like, these, like, caves under Hyrule Castle. And that's where you find Ganon's, like, locked away corpse. And you, like, inadvertently reawaken it. So she has, like, now twice been completely responsible for everything bad happening in the world. Because she's just, like, a stupid bitch. And I haven't uncovered all of them yet, but, like, this game also has, like, you know, the fucking memory system from Breath of the Wild, where you, like, go to, like, where those pictures are to get your memory back. It has a similar mechanic where you go to, like, these areas to find pieces of, like, Zelda's story of, like, what's happening to her after Ganon woke back up. And I haven't uncovered all of them yet, but it does seem like, from the ones I have seen, that Zelda is at least partially responsible for Ganon's rise to power in the first place. So she has just completely fucked everything up multiple times, ruined the world, and I think the next game should just be, like, all of the races of Hyrule, like the Rito, the Zora, Gerudo, Hylians, everyone, just, like, uniting to go and fucking put her ass to the guillotine. Because she is just a menace to the entire world. Because of how fucking stupid she is.
100 guardians, like, trained on her head.
And then you have the base ending, where, you know, Link helps out the rioters, kills Zelda, and then marries Paya.
Yeah, sets up as a fucking harem.
Yeah.
With Paya and the revived fucking Zora girl.
They retcon it so Mipha's alive again.
Miracles do come true. You know, Zelda really went a long way from, you know, Ocarina of Time, when she was, like, the first one to call out Ganon, like, before his rise to power, and now it's just you know, letting it happen. Crazy. And I remember, like, the whole thing about, like, all the memories in the first one were about how Zelda was, like, a completely incompetent bitch who, like, couldn't master her powers in time. It's like, I can't do it. I wish I was actually useful like you, Link.
She didn't even say that. She's, like, mad that, like, Link is good at what he does. She's a stupid bitch. I hate her. I hate Zelda in this game. And her voice actress is fucking god-awful. I don't know where Nintendo gets these fucking people from, but they just, like, how do they handpick the worst people possible for voice acting in a video game?
Especially, like, such a prominent character in one of their largest franchises.
Yeah, like, the character that the game is named after. And she's just awful at what she does. And they could have just fucking replaced her in this game. Like, they really didn't need to get the same voice actress because of how fucking bad she was in the last game. They could have just gotten someone new who actually knows how to, like, talk like a fucking human being.
They should have gotten the voice actors from the CDI games. That would have actually been, like, a better Zelda voice.
Yeah.
Good. This gets, like, crushed by a steamroller.
Do not roam unprotected. Look for something to aid you. If I heard that in fucking Tears of the Kingdom, I think I'd, like, shut the game off.
Yeah, like, what if like that mushroom thing start talking?
These burglars are so fucking stupid.
What the fuck is that?
I'd probably kill it.
Oh my god! What the fuck? How could they put that in a game? I just
That-
crap my pants.
Here, look.
Look, that smells like shit. Tastes like it. That's crap. Real crap. Out my ass.
I actually shit my fucking pants. Speaking of dumb enemies, though, real quick, in regards to that mushroom thing, I meant to tell you this off, Bender, but I might as well bring it up now. I found what might be the dumbest fucking enemy ever put in a Zelda game. I was just walking around, and a fucking... I'm not making this up, too, because it's gonna sound like I'm making this up just to make you laugh. A fucking tree got up and started walking towards me.
It's like a genius move.
So I fucking threw a fireball at it and set it on fire, and it died.
It's just a tree.
Yeah.
Did it have like a face or anything?
No, it's just a
Okay,
tree
that
that
makes it
gets
even
up
funnier.
and starts using its roots as legs and walking towards you.
Horrifying. We're just like too powerful for our own good. Everything we mention gets like brought to reality. That should have been the whole game. Like everything in the air is like completely new, but everything on the ground is like a mimic. Like the rocks. I mean, like that's already kind
They
of
already
a thing.
did
Like,
that, yeah.
but like every blade of grass like can get up and like attack you.
Like, walking across the grass like hurts you, and they're all like serrated.
Yeah, because in the first game, I know like there was a stupid what was the name of the fucking like the red Sheikahs, like the banana fuckers, like
The something clan.
yeah,
the Ku Klux Klan.
It started with a Y.
I don't remember. I've
The
only
fucking
found
the
one
fucking
of them.
Yankma, like the fucking Yankma clan or
Is
whatever.
that actually what they're called? Okay, I thought you could search it up real quick.
Yiga, the fucking Yiga.
Yeah.
I remember like that was like something because you know like now every single person that you talk to could just be like some dickhead. But they really should have just like ran with that. Can't trust anything on the ground. That would have been like the most acceptable way to just like, you know, reintroduce the same fucking map. Like make the ground like horrifying.
Well, granted, in this game, so I know like they showed off a lot that it's the same map, but you know you have the sky shit. On the actual map, they added caves fucking everywhere, and some of them go pretty damn deep. And they also added an entire underground map too, like a huge fucking like area that you can dive down into, like fucking Elden Ring style.
The further down you go into the cave, like Link's animation changes them like breathing very heavily.
You have to bring a fucking like a canary with you in case of fucking poisonous gas.
You'd bring in like a fairy in a bottle, and like it just like falls dead at the bottom of the jar.
You know, you gotta like run.
Yeah, you get like an extra gauge next to like the hot and cold, like an oxygen one. And like when you're up in the clouds, you know, it's like
It's the
always
same
low.
thing. If you get too high, you start to like run out of oxygen.
Great. It's like both new additions just cause you to die. There's like really nothing you can do about it. So, what I was thinking of, what would be a really stupid idea is like since that game like literally just came out like what, like 2 fucking weeks ago, like, not even, just like putting out a video now and called like Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, like a retrospective. So like talking about the game as if it's like years old and about like how it's like shitty or something. Like, yeah, you know, like it's been a while. I think it's finally time to talk about this game.
It's finally time to have an honest discussion about this game.
About what made this game good and what could have been better. Number 1, everything. The game sucks. I mean, I hate Zelda. I would never buy this game ever, but I did. I hate games.
I'm a fair reviewer, so I had to buy this game even though I knew I wouldn't like it. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint.
Not disappoint. Upon starting the game, I threw
I threw my controller across the room.
I threw my controller at the monitor and then stepped on my Switch until there was circuit shards sticking out of my foot. I then called up several anonymous hotlines to keep false positive about active shooters on college campuses. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you like it. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe.
And after all that stomping, the game doesn't fucking work anymore. I mean, how can Nintendo sell something that doesn't work?
You're gonna meet my lawyers, Nintendo. Stay nerdy.
Should that be the fucking outro of, like, if we ever do fucking, like, video essays?
But ending on stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy. Should we take AVGN's fucking slogan from him?
His faded slogan. Stay nerdy. You know, it's really dumb too, because like it's not even like we showed the stay nerdy on like our AI vendor.
Yeah, that's like a personal one.
So like if we said that, it would sound completely like
unironic.
Yeah.
Like we'd actually sound like a bunch of fucking like pussies. Like
yeah, like I could not say that in like confidence.
In good faith.
Like everyone else would have to know. Like maybe one day I'll dig up that output from like the old AI website, show it to the world, the fucking infamous stay nerdy AVGN.
It did save my old prompts, so you might actually have access to that still. Like it saved my prompts from before it added like the history feature.
No, this was the original AI one.
Oh fuck.
And I think I saved that one. So I should have it. I was gonna like dig up that account.
Stay nerdy.
Sad part is if you like actually like started saying that, it might like grow his hair back. Stay nerdy. Fucking James. Well,
I was thinking earlier today actually about our plan to like write the fucking like the script and try to like get a job as James's writers.
I mean, it was a damn good script.
Yeah. Just thinking about our like proposed episode. The only problem is we'd actually have to like fucking play that game.
Get Mike to play it.
Yeah.
Like he always did. Oh yeah, before I forget, I fucking rewatched the like the scene where Zuko fights Zhao, and it was a replayed shot. He did not kick his leg out 3 times.
No, that's not the scene I was talking about.
Yeah, bullshit.
You bitch. I'm talking about the scene where like he blasts, or maybe I think Zhao blasts him and Zuko deflects it 3 times. And it's the same thing, and Zhao does it 3 times as Zuko. It's one or the other. One of them shoots it, and the other one like deflects it 3 times. I will fucking pull that episode up right after we're done with this. And
Actually, I do know that part that you're talking about, and that's not replayed. But in that other episode, I'm pretty sure you specifically called out the leg sweep.
I have no idea.
Otherwise, I don't think I would have been so like motivated to remember and call it out. Like if had that not been the case. But yeah, the blocking fire thing, like yeah, he did that 3 fucking times. Just put me down already. Damn.
You just killed the Fire Lord's fucking prized admiral.
Looks like it's dead now. Da-ka-da-da. Da-ka-da. Oh man, I don't know why I just drank that. It's like I've like talked about this before. I just drank old lemon water. It tastes like fucking barf. Oh,
Getting delirious. I think we might have to call this one.
let's call it now.